What's good, everyone? What's good, everyone? This is Artist of Truth, and welcome to another vlog entry. So it is Wednesday morning. Yes, it is Wednesday morning. I am still up. Like, look, let me tell y'all something. This right here is what keeps me up, and I need to cut back on this. This stuff it's a CBD infused coffee, right? By a company called Tava. It's a black-owned company called Tava, Tava. And this right here is a CBD infused coffee. All right. Now, this is a very, this in a 6 to 8 ounce cup of hot water first thing in the morning will have you literally focused throughout the whole entire day. So this is why I am up at the hour that I am up, because I'm still sipping off of this one cup from like 11 this morning. It's just getting cooled off. But yeah. Oh yeah, you already know. For my Falcons fans, I love my Falcons. I'm hoping they get their shit together. But So hopefully everyone is doing great. Having, no, I don't need these right now. I hope everyone has had, the start of your work week has been very, very positive. I really do. This is one of those times where everything around us is like, it's weird. It's crazy. And you already know what I'm going to be talking about. You see the title. Wanted to talk about Pedophile Joe. Just point out some things that is very, very suspect about this individual that other people love to just completely and totally ignore. They say, "Oh, we're not worrying about that. That's not a major concern," and this, that, and the fifth. It's like, what the fuck ever. But talking about Pedophile Joe and also this busted challenge. Some of the things that I've been seeing about this, this challenge is greatly, it's like disturbing. It's like you give people an inch, they take a mile. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let us start. Let's just start this off. First things first, because I want to share something with you all, and I really want you all to see exactly what the heck is going on here. Let me pull my screen up here. Oh shoot, maybe it went a little too far. Okay, now let's see here, ladies and gents. So I'm going to pop this up because follower of mine shared this with me. But it was very interesting. America is such a strange land, and I totally agree. But the thing that really stuck out for me was this.
This was never the way I planned, not my intention. I got so brave behind your hair, lost my discretion. It's not what I'm used to.
But I'm not going to play it all the way through because seems like YouTube has been throwing tags on certain, certain music that that plays in the videos in the background. So, I'm just basically playing this video for for a lot of mammies and field Negroes that represent, this is their representative. Do you see this? You look at a child's face, look at this child. This child is just like, hey, get your hand out of my face. And then this girl, she's like literally leaning over like, ugh, oh, no, no. And even the girl's mother up there patting them on the shoulder, like, no, we're not doing this out here. Like, you see that type of stuff? It's like, but moreover, this right here, this was the killer. This right here was the killer. The 2013 National Defense Authorization Act, Section 1078 of the bill authorizes the use of propaganda inside of the U.S., which had previously been banned since 1948 when the Smith-Mund Act was passed. So in other words, turn off your damn television, because everything that comes through these news outlets are not, they're really not 100% truthful. But I just felt that was, that was deep. But listen to this shit.
I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, and by the way,
did you hear what that fool said? Like, okay, so I don't know about you all. It's like, did that even remotely seem like the type of thing that anyone should be saying about a young child? I love little kids, little kids jumping on my lap. Like, really? Really? But so for those, for those people out there who feel like, oh, that was just video enhancement and whatnot. Here's the full segment. Well, I'm not going to play the full segment, but I'll go back to 6 minutes and 41 seconds of this 15-minute video clip from a news from Wilmington news station. I'll let y'all hear this shit for yourself.
Senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about. And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're not all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all.
Hey. So you heard that. You heard that for yourself, right? Okay. So there's no reason for me to, to continue to go on about Pedophile Joe. We see what it is. And hey, if that's what people, if that's what people really and truly want, especially melanated people, I'm just like, that's your thing. You feel me? That's your thing. Uncomfortable, disgusting, but hey, that's your thing. You like it. I don't love it. Whew. But anyway, let's move on to let's move on to something much more how should I say it? Much more interesting. And honestly, this hits home for me because I hear, for some time I've heard the saying about toxic masculinity and how men, how we treat our sisters. Now, any male, any melanated male who takes it upon himself uh to exploit, degrade, abuse a melanated woman, I feel like he needs his chin checked, you know, needs to be taken outside and given a thorough ass whooping. Um, that's, me. I feel personally that is the start of brothers correcting brothers. But also, since this busted challenge has began, and when I heard it, the first thing was going through my mind was, I don't like where this is going, because the more it initially, one sister, and I wish I could tag her to this shit, but one sister specifically told me, well, the purpose of the busted challenge is to go from from just your no makeup, no hair, just in your natural state, to a glam state, to where you're showing off your dress. You're showing off your sexy outfit. So I was just like, oh, really? I said, oh, okay. Because at that point in time, it was just in the early stages. So I figured, I was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe I'm overthinking. I'm just like, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm doing too much. And sometimes you have to catch yourself and just be like, you know what? Maybe I am overthinking. Maybe it is, it's more to it than just that, right? Because sometimes we have a tendency of overthinking, and making more out of the situation than what it really is. So my first initial response about this busted challenge was correct. Because I understood, you give a nigga an inch, they will take a goddamn mile. And lo and behold, they took several several miles. They didn't take a mile. They took you know they took it to a whole they took it to 100 miles, and still going with the shit. But moreover, guess who's leading the run in this? Yep, of course. The blacks, the black females. Now, again, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, but some things need to remain behind closed doors. Everything doesn't need to be on public notice. Plus, I also noticed something very, very curious about this, because a lot of, it seems like Twitter is becoming a free porn site. And that's where the busted bullshit just unraveled completely. Now you're starting to have a plethora of Black females that feel like they need to be protected, respected, and honored. I'm just like, this is the reason why I have the hashtag that I have, that I can't take Black females seriously, because you can't tell me to respect you in one aspect and then you turn around, you exploit yourself for profit because you feel like, oh, my body is the only thing that I got going. I was like, my brain isn't strong enough. I don't have the necessary mental capacity to think about another alternative rather than exploiting myself for attention and some sense of validation. So without that, let me show you exactly what I mean. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. This shit really, it was like, yo, this shit really just disappointed me. Like, nigga, this is what we do? Like, so you see this here. Upon the first, glance at it, you feel like, hey, there's a form of leadership here and a form of nurturing here, from a goddess, from an empress to a goddess, from the goddess to her princess, from a king, from an emperor to a king, from a king to the prince. And when I saw it, I was just like, wait a minute, this can't be right. But then I look down here and I'm just like, really? I was like, you know what? I should have known better. But it didn't go from there. It just, as you can see, look at this shit. Bust it. So before I even play this, because I'm gonna stop it to a certain extent, but make sure your children aren't around. Okay? Viewer discretion is advised. So there's that one. Okay? That's one. Here's another one. And there's that one. So, I see shit like this, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. The first thing that comes to mind is niggas. Like, but toxic masculinity, right? Toxic toxic masculinity. Oh wow, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. We're toxic, right? Okay. We're toxic. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand we got our flaws too. But my thing is, when you taking, when someone gives you an inch, you take a mile, and then better yet, you quadruple that mile, and then the next thing you know, you feel some kind of way because you decide you want to put the busted challenge on Twitter. But moreover, I noticed how Twitter didn't censor that. They didn't censor that. But I guarantee you go on Twitter and you post up something that comes into question about, I don't know, politics, this pandemic. Watch and see how quick Twitter will jump in and snatch that comment down, or basically block your profile for however long they choose to. You notice that? When it comes down to a level of exploitation, Twitter somehow they don't see that. They don't see it at all. They just, oh well. They act as if it's not even there at all. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, this it's sad. It's sad and it's sickening because it's on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? It's on Twitter. So if you all have any children, preteens, of course, your teen's going to be on Facebook. They're going to be on the gram. They're probably on the gram and Twitter more than anything else because they already know, shoot, I can't post up this and I can't post up that, because I got family that I'm connected to on Facebook. But Instagram and Twitter is a whole different realm. So imagine when you hear that song, Bust It, and it's in your house, okay? Oh, it's all good. It's all good, King. All right. But the thing that really leaves me perplexed is how this type of behavior is celebrated. It's like excuses after excuses. We had a sister that was up on, Capitol Hill twerking, and then she tried to use her talent as a means of saying, well, this is African tradition, even though she was not dressed in any African attire. She was wearing, the American flag shorts. And it was like, you're making excuses to exploit yourself. And it's like, at what point do we just say, you know what, enough is enough? No, this isn't going to be tolerated. Don't cry and complain about how you're being approached by men, how you're being treated by men when you're exploiting yourself. So it's like, I don't feel that a woman, or not a woman, I don't feel a female should be attacked or harmed. You can't demand any respect from any man whatsoever, and you are consciously exploiting yourself. Life doesn't work that way. You got to pick a struggle. You can't tell men to respect you, but you're exploiting yourself. You are hypersexualizing yourself for profit. You know what that is? That's a prostitution. That's a prostitute. Yes, it is it's a twisted psychology. And a lot of them, they try and push that out. And and the sad part about it is a lot of our younger sisters see that and they think it's all right. They believe it's all right because, oh, well, my aunt was doing it, my mom was doing it, my classmate's mom was doing it. Why can't I? It was like some sisters don't. I believe there are some black females that don't understand what the hell honor is. You can't just jump and grab a title of queen, or should I say a goddess or empress. You can't grab that title because you haven't earned that shit. You haven't worked up to it. That's like me jumping out saying, oh, I'm Dr. Phil, and I got the cure for you and this, that, and the fifth. Most people would look at me and be like, what's your credentials? You can't call yourself a doctor. You haven't worked up to that point to earn that title. Well, it's no different than a black female calling herself, oh, I'm a queen, or I'm a goddess or whatnot. It was like, well, what are the women who are operating and moving in honor? What are they supposed to be? Because we can't sit up here and place y'all raggedy asses in the same category as honorable women. Because what that does for black men is that pushes us away. We're just looking like, yeah, no, I don't even want to deal with that shit. It's like we don't want to deal with it, but yet we hear this conversation on many different platforms that females have going on, where black men are dating outside their race and they're marrying outside of their race and this, that, and the fifth. I understand it. I don't like it either. I don't like to see my beautiful sister swirling at all. But I mean, to each his own. To each his own. This is just my own personal opinion. I don't like to see that either. I don't like to see my brother swirling. I don't like to see my sister swirling. But people have their reasoning for whatever. But men, melanated men, we're not drawn to that shit. I don't know who in the hell told y'all that. Like, seriously. I mean, just because we see it on TV and we like, ooh, we're not trying to marry those types of females. We're not trying to marry those types of females. I was like, come on now. And the sad part about it, what really is a dead indicator. I was sitting up there and I was reading, what was that? About Cardi B. So like Cardi B, she will not allow her daughter to listen to her music. She will not allow her daughter to listen to WAP. And I was like, why would you not want your daughter to listen to WAP? But this is the type of thing that you put out there. You promote this. And I get it. Everyone is going to jump out and say, well, it's the parents' responsibility to see to it that their children, their daughters are not listening to it. But how can you actually say that? Because when you turn on the radio, especially in the city of Atlanta, you would hear the WAP. So the mom or the dad isn't around to really keep their children, keep their hands on their children and kind of like guide them and say, no, this is not what you listen to. You listen to that, it starts to toxify your mind. And before you know it, you're trying to mimic something that you're seeing because, oh, they're getting so much attention and a sense of validation. But why do you need that? You don't need validation. For what? That people are watching you, that people care about you, or people like you. It's like people are going to like you for the information that you're sharing with them. People are going to like you for the level of energy that you're putting out. People are just going to like you just because you're cool, or you look handsome, or you look beautiful. People are going to like you off of that. You have to give something more of yourself than just the physical aspect about what you can do and how you can do this to someone on sexually. It's like, no, I mean, that's not attractive to us men. Men do it simply for easy sexual advances. Yes, males do it simply for easy sexual advance, sexual access. Yeah. All right. But honestly, this is sick, man. This is sick. And I mean, you get indicators when some of the sisters are about to get into this whole challenge. There's either someone that pops up that's like, yo, hell no. Fuck you. Fuck you think you're doing? I watched one and the sister was about to bust it in front of her child. And her baby started laughing at her and just completely threw her off. I don't know if that was something intentional, but the baby boy kept laughing. He was just like, because the little boy knew. He was like, "Mom, so you gonna copy what other females are doing? I'm gonna laugh at you." And every time she went to, that little boy was laughing, and she started laughing too, because she already knew. Maybe I shouldn't do this. I watched a brother come in, and I don't know if he actually started shooting literally in the house, but he walked in with his firearm like, ain't nobody busting it up in him. What the heck you mean? Like, one brother, he just popped in on his lady's video with the vacuum hose, and next thing you know, her wig just came off in the vacuum hose. I mean, it's comical, but the problem is, and this is from the heart, and I mean this because the sisters need to hear this. Just for a moment, take your emotions out of it. Don't feel as if we are trying to control you, because that's not what we're trying to do. When you're wrong, you need to be corrected. You just need to be corrected. No different than with us. When we're wrong, we need to be corrected, whether it's by our brothers or our sisters. We need to be corrected. It's a level of correction. But you have to look at it and think, if you care anything about your community, you care anything about the young females, the young girls who are watching your every move, because these young teenage sisters are watching you. So how you behave, how you communicate, how you respond to to certain things, especially irrelevant things that do nothing. They don't progress. They don't progress the movement or make you a better individual. It doesn't. You're just showing yourself, exploiting yourself in a sexual nature, and before you know it, these young girls come up the ladder right behind you, and they're mimicking everything that they see. So that level of toxicity continues to fester. I mean, if we're going to do a challenge, why is it we can't have a read a book challenge or learn something new that you've never heard of before, and share that information with like-minded individuals? Like, where are those types of challenges? It's like, is that too hard? Is that a real difficult thing, to have a challenge that's going to spark the interest of someone and point them in a direction that can actually be progressive? Because these young kids, they're watching us. They watch television all the time. They're watching social media all the time. So if they're failing, it's because we made the choice to fail not only ourselves, but we have failed them. We can't sit up here and say, well, oh, that's their parents' fault. No, you play a part into it as well. I mean, but I noticed we don't like being called out on our shit. We don't like being called out. If we call out our own people, you're gonna have some Negroes on one side saying, fuck you, I want to kill you, I could whoop your ass, and this, that, and the fifth. And then you got melanated folks on the other side that see exactly what the issue is, and their whole response is, we need to stop this. Please stop this. Because what y'all niggers over there are doing is making us look bad. And that's exactly what it is. It makes us look bad. And when someone was like, well, you shouldn't go public about this type of thing, you should keep it all in the house. I was like, okay, at At what house are we actually coming to address this issue? Don't tell me no cop-out bullshit like that, because I don't buy it. I don't. We can air out our dirty laundry. We can attack each other. But one thing that we will not do, we won't air out anyone else's laundry, even if they're pissing on our head like R. Kelly. And I do mean that. They pissing on our head, say, oh, that ain't, that's water. It's like, nigga, it smell like pee to me. Ah, that's rainwater. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Why is it so warm? Oh, that's summer rain. Summer rain. And just pissing on your head like, oh my gosh. You know, like why do we subject ourselves to this level of subhuman crap? Like why? And then our sisters turn around and they corral us all together when we fuck up. When one of our brothers happen to fuck up and do something that he has no business doing, put us in a whole category and just corral us up. And the sad part about it is we have done the same thing with them. But when you know the difference between a woman and a female, it makes it it makes it a whole lot easier, because even the women will look at their own sisters and just be like, bitch. But I don't feel personally they are doing enough to address the issue, to combat the issue, to say, you know what, this shit gonna stop. Y'all gonna stop this shit. Y'all gonna stop this shit. If you're getting out here and you're degrading yourself on a public forum that everyone can see, I mean, yeah, they have the little, you know, viewer discretion, sensitive, this, that, and the fifth. I was like, when Twitter attaches that, they are welcoming and endorsing that level of degrading. I was like, and y'all still gonna sign up for this shit? It's like, come on, man. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Ooh. Like, Brother King Fu. Tell her, let her know. Please let her know. Because what our daughters are going to, you know, look at, they're going to mimic that. They're going to mimic that. And then before you know it, you'll be at the point where you're ready to whoop your daughter's ass. And then the mother going to be over in the corner talking about, now don't hit her, don't discipline her, don't tell her that she's wrong. Like, but she's going to go out into society with that same mindset. And before you know it, I'm going to have to shoot somebody because someone has abused her. Someone has treated her, you know, someone has treated her like a slut. And I'm just like, I'm a father. I know this is my daughter. I'm not going to be cool with this. I'm going to have to put a motherfucker in the dirt. But it's like, why even do that when you can nip this shit in the bud? But we don't want to do that. This is a form of entertainment. But moreover, any brother that allows, you know, any brother that allows his girlfriend, his wife to take part in the busted challenge, and she goes to the extent like that of, oh, she's sucking your dick on camera, busted challenge. She riding your dick on camera, busted challenge. I'm like, what's sacred? Is there anything sacred anymore? There's nothing sacred. You just go ahead and open the door and just let everyone into your bedroom. There's nothing sacred about that. And that brother that goes along with it is spineless. He has no backbone. He don't know how to stand up on his own 10 toes and look his woman in the face and be like, you're not going to do this. I'm not taking part in this shit. But then I realize now some guys are just simps. Some guys are just spineless males, beta males with no backbone. They don't know how to stand up for themselves. But I will tell you this much. You say something to them about them being wrong in what their lady is doing and what they're doing, they'll be ready to tear your damn head off. Yeah. You notice that? They'll be ready to whoop your ass. But one thing they won't do, they won't jump on no oppressor's ass, would it? No. Mm-mm. I noticed those types of dudes, they humble themselves when master come around. I noticed that. That's some coward shit. But at the end of the day, all I can say is we have to take greater precaution, and we have to take greater precaution when it comes to our young ladies and our sisters. I love you. I love you dearly. I love you dearly. But the actions and behaviors that some of you are displaying right now is not honorable. It's not worthy of respect. And no, we're not going to stick our neck out there to try and protect you when all you're going to do is go right back to that same mental, that same toxic mental thought process of thinking that, oh, this is my body. I do whatever the hell I want to do. Yes, it is your body. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But you're not going to sit up here and demand someone to respect, honor, and protect you. You're not worthy of it. You're not. Respect is something that is earned. So, in closing, I'm going to end this on a more positive note. And of course, I wouldn't dare try and implement another challenge, because certain challenges will force an individual to do some form of work, whether it's reading, whether it's researching, whether it is turning off your television and your radio, your Spotify, iTunes, or whatever, and sitting in quietness and reading something that is more informative, something that's going to spark a level of interest within, something you've never heard of before, something you never was taught in the caveman's institutions, whether it's a historically black university or not. Just try it. I beg of you. Because all of these irrelevant challenges, it is part of the reason why other people do not take us seriously. We can get out there and march, protest, and talk about this and talk about that, and then go right back into our community still doing the same level of bullshit and harm towards each other. So it's like people looking at us like, on one side of the fence, they're like, they want equality, respect, and want to end racism. But then on the other side of the fence, they looking like, what y'all niggas over here doing? Y'all raping, killing, molesting children. Y'all doing this to your damn self. And then there's no unity over there. They looking at both sides. We like, I don't take neither one of y'all motherfuckers seriously. And they don't. And what happens? Those of us who are business owners, those of us who have a level of honor dignity, morals, and standards about ourselves, we end up getting the short end of the stick. We end up getting fucked over by them, and we end up getting fucked over by our own people. And then they always keep asking this stupid question: well, why haven't we progressed? You know, why is it we can't unify? It's like niggas don't want to unify. They don't. And that goes for your friends and your family. King says that's that that it's my body. Shit is white feminist psychology. Yes, you are right. That is white psychology, white feminist psychology. I can just imagine if feminists never even existed, where would our sisters be? Like, where would our sisters be if our sisters were, had the nurturing soul and the mentality of, of Cicely Tyson and Maya Angelou, with with a dash of Foxy Brown. You know what I'm saying? I'm just pulling these things off of the top of my head, because these are the species of melanated women that I grew up respecting and loving, just loving the women for what was here and what was here. Because when you have a combination and those two are they're twined together, it's like everything else is just icing on the cake. You can love that woman from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet, because you can feed off of a woman, a goddess, an empress like that. But one that is trash and toxic, there's only so much you can get out of it before you're toxic. But we got to do better. And I know I know we can. Some people just got to stop being cowards. Stop being afraid of being called, oh, well, you're a hater. It was like, you telling me I'm a hater? I'm a hater because I hold my sisters to a higher standard than any other ethnicity of women out there, because I know where my sisters come from. I know how powerful my sisters are. It's like we come from a woman and our father. And if we want to continue to honor them, whether they are here or whether they have passed on to the other side, we got to have a sense of honor about ourselves. We have to learn how to honor them. Now, if you want to be a freak and all that, do that shit behind closed doors, please. Because when one of these guys see you out in the street and he be like, oh, I remember that chick from that busted challenge, and he approaches you, it's like, shit, you gonna bust something now? Do not suddenly develop some level of morals and self-respect by saying, oh, I'm a woman, respect me. Respect you? The only thing I can respect about you is the simple fact that you're a freak like that, and you putting it out there for the whole entire world to see. It's like, shit, let me get some. $40. $40 and a loaf of bread, baby. I got you. Suddenly what they want to say. Oh, men are dogs and pigs. I'm like, oh, okay. Men couldn't be dogs and pigs if you were not showing, revealing yourself. That's all. That's it. Have a level of respect for yourself, and I guarantee you, things will change dramatically. Because at that point, it's forcing us to get into a position where we are going to govern ourselves in a more honorable and respectful way. Because we see the sisters, they're respecting themselves. He's like, oh shit, she ain't getting it up. She expects this type of guy. So either I'm living up to that expectation, or I'm just gonna keep on moving, or I'm just gonna work on myself until I get where I need to be in order for a woman of a certain type of caliber to come into my world. That's it. So I'm gonna go ahead, wrap this up, let you all know I greatly appreciate you all for tuning in. Again, you see the banner below. You know what I'm saying? I am on Spotify, artist underscore of underscore truth. You can hear my some of my previous podcasts there. And I am on Instagram, so feel free to send me a request. I will be more than happy to add you. If you do not, I watch for trolls. So there's specific things if you do not have them on your page, I'll take you for a troll and I will block you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Don't need that type of energy. So sometimes you just got to push certain people out to make room for people who are willing to take your message, take the meat from your message, apply it to their own life, and then evolve. Because that is my whole entire goal. I ain't trying to get nothing out of anybody. I just want to see my people in a better space with a greater mentality. That's all. So, as always, your joy and happiness belongs entirely up to you. Try to hit me up again, bro. It's crazy. You're in the ATL. I'll be moving there within the next month. Bet. I got you. Make sure make sure you send me hit me up on the gram, or better yet, drop an email to me, email address, and I'll send you my number, and shoot, man, we can chop it up, man, because I'm constantly around like-minded individuals who really and truly want to change their life, and they want to set the bar, because we have to leave our mark in this world, just like we leave our footprints in the sand of life. We have to leave our mark in this world, so someone else coming up behind us will be able to follow that righteous path and be a greater man, be a greater woman for themselves, their community, their household, because that's where it starts. It starts with us. All right. So in the meantime, in between time, if no one else has told you this today, let me be the first. I love you. I appreciate you. You are strong. You are powerful. You are handsome. You are beautiful. You are courageous. And most of all, you are smarter than you actually give yourself credit for. All right. So I'll catch you soon. Peace. Take off. Take off. Take off. Hey. Take off. Hey.